Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is your host, Christopher Rocket, and this evening edition of Fire for Liberty, transcending space and time on this the very 6th of September 2017, co-creating a very unique, co-creative type of pace piece and prevalent Phoenix sort of phenomenon of extra potential incarnate for the limitlessness of the expanse of what is to not only potentiate the type of creativity that to reinstate the foundation of the part, which is to play the extra traditional and extra potential of the types of motivations that started the foundations that exist in the type of thought forms of the very propulations of the limitless potential that exists in Renaissance and the Golden Age. Acceleration potential for the advancement of heaven essence in general. Wonderful, peaceful things, lots of creativity. This is going to be very brief, so bear with me. This is lots of creativity, lots of subtleties in the very specifics, a little bit more sorts of understandings for the trailblazing transcendental nature involved in the contact focus. And then, of course, the developments of the types of not only the establishments and the groups and the companies and the corporations heavily involved in many different types of advanced ascensionary thought form developments, but as well as types of important leadership involved in many co-creative expansive forms or peaceful evanescent properties that are limitless in its own limitless potential nature. The grand fruition is which has already been reiterated, but the type of sustainability and probability, which is and is an essential part of peaceful type of cooperation and the potential. And also there's, of course, regardless, always limitless sorts of potentials involved in this multifaceted nature, multifaceted will, and multifaceted potential. So, vaguely, that was vague. Specifically, of course, there is a lots of involvement in terms of many different types of artistical and designed industries, as well as the voluntary designs. But what I mean by voluntary, I really mean by preliminary. And preliminary is, of course, a very, very, very important process in continuing the acceleration, or continuing the ascension, or just the overall limitless broadcast sort of understanding of the types of potentials that exist for creativity, the types of unity that exists with the potential to grow with any and every, even not just human beings, but any being, any living and non-living being, or animate and inanimate object, and not only in the vicinity, but also, of course, in the realms of the astral plane, of course, the realms of the physical 3D plane, and the 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, etc., all the way up, and it goes, well beyond to triplicates and duplicates, and as well as to exponential potentials. Jumping. I use the word jumping. Quantification of that thought form, of course, is the jumpers. I believe that's what it's called. But anyway, the types of abilities, of course, are going to enhance the types of dexterities and capabilities and thought forms and forms of hand-eye coordination, etc. Definitely, of course, advance. And, there's this sense of, that type of quickening what tends to happen, which, of course, is normal. And, of course, that pace of a pace, which, of course, once again, is absolutely normal. This is your host, Christopher Malcolm Curtis Bone, and it's the evening edition of Fire for Liberty. I do speak really fast, so I'll probably slow that part down just to understand, not to necessarily slow it down too much, but to also reiterate the type of importance of the reiteration of enunciation, not to downplay not to downplay enunciation in the form of the acceleration of excellence, because regardless, it's not necessarily deceleration to not be excellent, and necessary acceleration to be excellent. bear with me when I understand it, or when I explain and understand and reiterate the types of excellencies that exist in the excellence that is portrayed. This is your host, your guardian of light, light anchor, light bearer, light warrior, and light worker, Christopher Mako Curtis Bowen, leader of light, planetary leader for peace, planetary leader for prosperity, order, and paradise, planetary leader, and building, growing, and developing ascended master, as well as ambassador for universe in development form. You know, the limitlessness, of course, they've always involved in development, and of course the ambassador for the planet and ambassador for planet Earth. Let's continue having us in co-creative, unique creative contact in very spectacular creative ways, along with our very unified and advanced brethren, especially since this quarantine's been lifted. This is your host, Christopher Mako Curtis Bowen, evening edition of 5 Liberty, 6th of September 2017. Love you all. Most likely I might start doing broadcasts, perhaps without the broadcast, but we'll see how that goes, because even not ages ago, but there is walking, talking, 5 Liberty, so bits and pieces do connect. Regardless, there's still so much work to do. So blueprints, structures, those have been planted, but of course, that aura field is still being incarnated, and that's their excellence of balancing, which I strongly encourage, and continue anchoring the light energies from the galactic central sun through the central sun, through our sun, straight down to our realm, and then of course, in order to accelerate the types of positive potentials that exist in the FS realms, which we create and can create and co-create, allowing heaviness and unity and regardless peace and prosperity. Love you all.